I will record and I will just share that recording link with you after the session. Okay.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. So first, what is automation testing? Okay. So we should think if there is manual process, why we are thinking of the automation. So automation is needed because it's a testing technique which reduces the human effort with the help of tools. For example, if you are working on particular application, if the one of the feature is new came into the picture, so if you are trying to do the manual of the whole that particular application, it will take more time actually, and it will just reflect in the cost as well. So if you can do the automation of that particular previous portion automation, and then we can go ahead with that new feature as a manual thing at initial stage. So it will just reduces the manual effort. It will just, it's a cost efficient actually. It's include the test coverage and execution speed as well, because if you execute script at the night, at the next day we can see the report, and based on that we can conclude that our previous part of the application is not impacted at all, or if there is any defect in the previous part, so we can fix it and we can go ahead with the deployment. So that is a main motto of the automation. So just remember that automation testing is basically used for the regression purpose. Okay, regression means any new feature is coming to the picture, so we have to test the old part of that software. So that is old part of software is kind of we are testing, that is a regression testing. Okay, so going to the next slide. So there are many tools in the automation testing basically, kind of UFT, RFT, Selenium, APM. Uh, UFT and RFT is basically used for the hybrid actually. It's used for the desktop as well as the web, as well as the mobile as well. Okay, and Selenium is basically used for the web testing only. APM is for the mobile testing only. So why we are thinking about the Selenium? First, I will come to this point. Okay, so previously there is UFT, and UFT is not a copy. Actually, it's a license is heavy, and for RFT as well. So the one guy from the ThoughtWorks think that we have to come with this one approach that will be the cost efficient and that will be easy to learn actually. So actually, Selenium name given because it's an antidote actually. Selenium is antidote on every solution actually. Means it's a competitor of the UFT basically. That's why the name given is Selenium. Okay, Selenium basically used for the web testing only. So you have to remember we can use only web testing, not a desktop testing at all. If you want to perform in a desktop testing there, we have to go for some external tools, kind of robot class, or we can use action class, and we can handle few scenarios from the desktop application. Okay, so UFT is a unified functional testing. It's provided by the HP, and RFT is from the IBM. It's a rational functional tester. And Selenium is open source, so it's open. We can use it for free, and same for the APM as well. APM is developed by the Source Lab. Okay, so these are the automation tool. Apart from this, there are many paid tool as well. Suppose if you don't want to execute test case on our local machine, we can use the cloud platform as well. So we have to take a license. We have to do some modification of existing script, and we can execute same script on the cloud platform as well. So Selenium is basically used for the performance test, so not performance testing, for the UI testing plus functional testing. Okay, and if you want to do some visual testing, we can add some extra code with the help of Apply tool, and we can integrate it with the Selenium, so it will work to test the visual testing as well. Okay, so this is about the tools in the automation. So this is for the web and desktop. So if you want to test on the API, so there are different tools like Postman and Rest Assured for the manual and automation respectively. And there are few more add-on tool actually, kind of TestNG, Maven, Gradle, that are basically used as a part of, we can make the testing easy by using this tool, TestNG, Maven, Gradle. Okay, and suppose if you want to do the load testing, we can use the load runner, JMeter, that is used for the load testing. So basically now we are focusing on the only UI testing and functional testing for the web. Okay, so we are going to go for the Selenium first. Okay, So next slide, why Selenium? Yeah. So think, suppose every organization have different set of OS, every organization have different set of browsers. So if you want to work with every browser or any different OS, so they actually Selenium provides support over the multiple OS plus multiple browsers along with the multiple languages. So Selenium basically supports for the Ruby, Python, C Sharp, and Java. So if you know any of this language, we can work with the Selenium easily. Okay. And Selenium also support for the multiple browsers actually. If you can see in the screen, it's for the Firefox, Chrome, uh, Internet Explorer. It supports for the multiple that Windows as well. Means Windows, Mac, we can execute a script, same script there as well. In the Linux as well, we can execute the same script. So only we have to take that particular library for the compatible library, and we can execute same script again. Okay, so this is a actually use of the Selenium because it's supported for the multiple languages plus multiple browser plus multiple OS. So it's a cross compatible. So that is a benefit, and also it's open source. So there is if you want to learn or if you want to do the some POCs, we can do it easily without any license purchase. Okay, so just high level architecture of the Selenium, you can see if you write some code in any language, for example, Java, C Sharp, Python, and Ruby, it it will simply, if you write some click code or if you write some enter text code, it will simply communicate it through the JSON wire protocol or HTTP. And we are using some exe there actually. I will tell that what is that exe in the practical. So we suppose we are using Chrome driver. There is a Chrome driver exe. Suppose we are using the IE. So there is IE driver exe. So that through that exe, it will just inject that code to the browser, actual browser, and it will just perform the action. This is a structure architecture of the Selenium. Okay, so till now, any doubts? So if you have any doubts, so you can ping me in chat as well. That's not an issue. Okay. So I'm considering it as a no. Okay, fine. Yeah. So when we think about the Selenium, there are actually multiple things, multiple modules in the Selenium as well. So we can call it as a Selenium components. So just today's session is only for the theoretical. So you will get a high level understanding of the what is the Selenium, what is automation testing. So no worries about that. Everything I will show practically as well. Okay, so this is the introduction of the IDE, RC, WebDriver, and Grid. Okay, so when Selenium introduced at initial level, there was IDE, Selenium IDE. So this is a integrated development environment, and it is basically supporting only Firefox. Now currently, recently they are supporting other browsers as well, but we are not using actually IDE because it's just a record and play. And for example, if you record something, we cannot guarantee that it will execute next time because we can over the mouse here and there. We cannot do the navigations in the recording play. So that is a disadvantage. So we are not using this IDE. I will show what is this IDE in practical now as well after this. Yeah. Okay. So one Ritesh asked question. Can you please explain the protocol concept again? Okay. So I'm going to the previous slide again. So this is protocol. You don't have to worry about this JSON wire protocol because we are not actually, it's an internal structure in deep actually. You have to write code only at one side in the any IDE, suppose in Eclipse or IntelliJ, and we have to use one exe, Chrome driver exe or IE driver exe. So it will internally work. So no need to think about the JSON wire protocol at all. So just you have to remember it's something happen in the backend. Okay. So we are not actually worrying about this part. This is the internal implementation of the Selenium. Okay. So that's fine. Okay. So Selenium IDE I'm talking about, this is a record and play. So Yeah, I will go for the practical for the Selenium IDE. So you will get some confidence on the what is Selenium IDE.
Yogesh, sorry to interrupt. Well,
Yeah.
Ritesh, to answer your question, that wire protocol is just based off communication, wherein any browser will communicate through language. Means we write in Java, Python, Ruby, or C Sharp, right? As Yogesh said. So
Yeah.
using that protocol, we'll just communicate with the browsers. Because different browsers, if you have observed, sometimes internet works faster. Sorry, Internet Explorer. Sometimes Chrome is faster. Sometimes Firefox is faster, right? So we communicated to browser using that protocol. And if, as he said, it's more advanced because you can communicate it through different ports as well. And you can decide the ports if you want to communicate with that particular browser. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Thanks, Yogesh. Please, we can continue.
Yeah, I will go for the Selenium IDE now. Now in a slide, you can see it's a Firefox plugin, but now recently they are supporting Chrome as well. So I have just installed the plugin that in the Chrome, and I will just show you the recording as well. How we can record in the IDE. So it will just ask give the multiple options. You can see welcome to Selenium IDE version is there, and what we would like to do. So basically, we can record the new text in the new project, open existing project, create a new project, or close existing IDE. So I will just simply create a new project. So I will give one name here in as a project, demo underscore project. Clicked on OK. Now you in the right hand side, you can see the recording button here. I will start recording this. And I will simply provide some URL here. I will simply copy the URL from the Google itself, www.google.com. So URL should be accurate. Means we should follow this HTTP dot. You cannot give this www.google.com only. So you have to provide this protocol as well. This part. Okay, I'm starting recording. It will just open the browser and hit the google.com. Now I will just search for the Selenium. I will hit enter. I will click on the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, now I will close the browser and stop recording. So few actions I have performed. So it is asking for the test name. So I will say it's a trial Selenium. Click on OK. Okay, so now I can execute same script again. You can see there is a run button, run current test on the left side. I'm clicking that. It will just hit the Google. You can see same action performed. That you can see the option at the last actually. The tilde Selenium completed successfully. Okay. So this script got passed, but I will record another script again, and I will show how it failed and how it is not efficient. Record. I will just enter Selenium. But now this time I will select the option from this drop down actually, this suggestion box, Selenium architecture. And I will click on the first option randomly. And I will close this window. Okay. So now I am going to execute this script again. So I will stop recording this first. Okay. And now I can execute this script again. Let me play it again. Yeah, it is not able to select the Selenium architecture in the suggestion box. That is a disadvantage of the Selenium IDE. So if you want to perform some navigation actions in the Selenium IDE, we can do that as well. So that is not efficient. So that is not in use right now. No one is using that Selenium IDE. So this is for only demo purpose. I have just installed this. So just you need basic understanding what is Selenium IDE. That's why I have showed you this. So I'm closing this browser. So any doubt in Selenium IDE, or we are good to go? So I'm considering it as no. Okay. I'm closing the browser. Okay, moving back to the PPTs again. So okay, so this is all about the IDE, integrated development environment. Yeah. Then coming to the Selenium RC. Selenium RC is actually we need a server to execute our actual Selenium script. This is also we are not using right now. I will just tell you we are using the Selenium WebDriver currently. And Selenium WebDriver is also include the Selenium RC code. So if you are working with the Selenium WebDriver, we don't have to worry about the Selenium RC, because execution in the Selenium RC is very slow because it is using server and it's taking time to execute script because it is navigating everything to the server. So I'm reading the description: executing script written in any programming language using JavaScript. There is only limitation of the JavaScript only. And in Selenium WebDriver, as we say, we can execute the script in any language, in any browser. And it is directly communicating to the browser instead of any server. So this is the efficient one now, Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So last part is a Selenium grid. Okay. So I will just move back to this PPT again, to explain the Selenium grid. Okay. So if you want to execute the script on the same machine, we can use the Selenium WebDriver. But if you want to execute the same script on different machine on different browser, just think about this different machine. If you including different machine, so in that case we have to use the Selenium grid. That is the main use of the Selenium, because Selenium is multi OS supported. So whenever we are thinking about the multiple machines, so we have to use Selenium grid. Otherwise, we are going with the Selenium WebDriver. Okay. So yeah, this is a multiple flavors of the Selenium actually. Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium grid. Okay. So moving to the next Selenium. So here, yeah.
Sorry, before you continue, people Selenium RC means remote control, right? So that means that it has to communicate with servers. And the main disadvantage of that is it cannot apply, or we cannot use Selenium grid when we use Selenium RC. As Yogesh explained, in Selenium grid, we can run it on multiple systems on multiple browsers. So we cannot achieve that using Selenium RC. That's the main disadvantage. And if that server goes down, all your script execution, everything is going to fail. And there is no direct communication with the browsers. For an example, I want to run regression on Chrome, Sanity on Firefox, and Smoke on Internet Explorer. That time it doesn't work.
Yes.
But with Selenium WebDriver, as it's an independent one, it will communicate it with the browsers based on whatever we have mentioned in the framework, and we can execute everything seamlessly. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yes, please continue.
Yeah. Okay. So moving to the next slide, it will just clear the concept of the Selenium, that different flavor of the Selenium. Okay. So Selenium RC is basically merged in the Selenium WebDriver in the Selenium 2 itself. Now currently either we are using Selenium 2 or Selenium 3. These are the two versions available in the market. So we are not using Selenium 4 because it's under development. So it's a beta version actually. So it is not yet stable. So we can avoid that using. So simply we can use Selenium 2 or Selenium 3. There is very few basic differences are there. So we can discuss that in later actually. So yeah. Okay. Then yeah. Selenium IDE, Selenium grid. Okay. Yeah. Actually, Sri, I have planned this much only for today. So okay. What I can do now? Yeah. So we will discuss few things on the automation part again. So we have to think what things to be automated, what not to be automated actually. Okay. So if you are thinking there is frequent change in the application, so we should not automate that kind of things, because if you automate that kind of thing, so it will not be stable and it will fail frequently. First point. Okay. And suppose the requirement is not clear actually, in that case also we cannot start the automation testing for that particular thing. And before doing the automation, we have to test that particular scenario thorough to the automation manual testing. And if you are sure these things are not going to change, then only we can go with the automation. Okay. So this is criteria for the automation testing. So I cannot say that's it's a replacement for the manual, but it's a efficient one. Okay. And now we are talking about the Selenium. So we'll add few points to select the tool while automation. So if you want to choose, if you want to do the POCs, so few points should be considered while selecting the tools. Now we are going with the Selenium because it's open source. It is providing, as actually features are many in the Selenium and it's open source. Suppose if you find particular thing is not working in the Selenium, so we can raise the bug. And Selenium also have a huge community support. So if you are getting any issue in the Selenium, someone will resolve that issue, and just we will give the new build so that issue can be resolved. So don't think Selenium don't have any issue. Selenium may have some issues. So due to huge community support, we are using Selenium. Okay. So suppose if you want, there is a case, if you want to select any tool, so the few points should be considered. Suppose what is the platform support for that, which is the license card there. Suppose if you want to give the some training, so how to deal with the training cost, because for Selenium it's a very low. If you are going for any paid tool, it's a very high. So that's also considered. And again, you have to think for the advanced software requirement to install that particular software, any tool. So in the Selenium, there is no as such requirement. It's a very lightweight software, so we can use it in any machine, basically. Okay. And also we are looking for the support from the community or support from the vendor. So here we are getting the support from the community. So that's the best thing here in the Selenium. So any issue we are getting, so that is resolved within 2 or 3 weeks maximum. Okay, so this is all about the Selenium. And if we think about some more ahead, suppose we are doing the web testing in the browser, in the machine. So the question might come that we should do the testing in the mobile, in the web as well, right? So there is a little bit difference between this testing and that mobile testing actually. So in that we are not using Selenium actually, we are using few functions from the Selenium, but remaining we are using the APM part actually. So APM, what it will just make sure that it is just communicating with the mobile browser, and it will just inject the commands to the browser. So we can do the mobile testing by using the APM. This is on the top of this Selenium. So we need some extra setup to do this everything from the APM side. Okay. So till now, any questions, team? Any how automation goes? What is the criteria, or any basic things you need to discuss? You can ask the question in the chat window. No questions. Okay.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. One question I got, I think, as a JSON is a JSON wire protocol is a communicator. Then what is the difference for W3C? Are you Diksha? Diksha, are you talking about this JSON wire protocol?
Yes, Yogesh. As I was going through some other source, so I heard that even W3C is used instead of JSON. So what's the actual difference between the both? Why the JSON one or why the W3C one? Because both of them are the translator, correct? So
Yes,
like,
yes, right.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's their own call from the Selenium. Actually, Selenium is developed by the ThoughtWorks. So they have used this JSON wire protocol only to communicate this between these libraries and the actual browser drivers. So we don't have to worry about this part. Actually, I said earlier, we don't have to worry this part. We can simply write a code and it will simply open the browser and execute the commands as we given in the script. So
Okay.
we don't have to worry about this part actually at all. So this is only for the understanding how it communicates. You should know it is communicating using JSON wire protocol. or HTTP. That's it. You have to remember.
Okay, no, because most of the times while running the script in Eclipse,
Yeah.
we get the message downside like the your W3C has been successful type of.
Yes, actually, we got a message in red color actually. So
Yeah.
actually, we were not reading that. We can ignore that simply. That
Okay.
is just for information purpose, not ignore, but that is for only information purpose. So don't
Oh,
think more about this actually. Okay.
okay, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So I think one more question I got. Yeah. So question asked by the Karan Amritkar. Automation
Yes.
testing used only for the regression testing. Yeah. Basically, it is used for the regression testing only, because any new feature comes with a feature, it is not stable actually, and it is not stable. We can do the automation, but we cannot rely on the automation in that case. Script will fail unexpectedly frequently in that case actually, in the new feature. So basically it is only maximally used for the regression testing only, to test if the previous part is not affected due to the new development.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. And actually in the automation, benefit of the automation is that suppose someone asks you to do the manual things for particular application, and the application is so complex, so in the manual testing you might miss some complex scenarios in the hurry. So if you automate that kind of scenario in the automation, there is high chances to get the proper testing of that particular complex scenarios as well there. And if you're doing same work repetitively again and again, you might feel it's a boring actually. So getting rid of this automation is the best option there.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And also good part, suppose if you want to do the last minute testing, so if you execute your test suite in the night, you can get the test report. When you are executing the test script, you are getting the report. That this also keep in mind. So next day morning you will get the report, and you can see what is go wrong or what is not expected. What is the actual result of that application testing. So based on that, you can just conclude to for the deployment or next process what you have to do. So that is also good part. Yeah, one question from the Ritesh Sharma. Repetitive task, right? Repetitive task, capturing data, data entry task, timing and screening responsive, non-functional testing, environment setup, tear down. In all, we can use automation. Yeah, repetitive task means yes, yes. Actually, if you are now we are thinking only about the web. If you want to do some automation for the different things, suppose if you want to open, if you are initially you are opening the laptop, you are opening the Outlook, you are opening some different application, this kind of automation you have to do, of course you can do that as well by using the UiPath. There is a one paid tool UiPath. You can do anything there. Suppose if you want to, in the morning you have to copy the one Excel sheet from one location to another location, you have to send some email with common emails with common body, that you can do by using the UiPath. Okay. So capturing data, I'm not getting what is this capturing data and data entry task. So if there is fixed one, if you know the data, we can put into the Excel sheet and we can write it somewhere that as well. That's not an issue. Then again, time
Okay.
and screening responsiveness. Responsiveness means suppose if you want to do the testing on the web and if you want to check the responsiveness, that you can also do in the automation. That's perfectly fine. But you have to use the different tool, because Selenium is basically for the UI and the functional testing. Okay. And what is this non-functional testing? Non-functional testing, yeah, performance testing you can do by using JMeter. If you want to do the security testing, you can do using the burp suite, BURP suite. That is also, that's a paid tool again. You can use that for the non-functional. And environment setup. Environment setup means if there is again repetitive tasks based on the requirement, you can use UiPath or any different set of tools. That is also possible partially. Not, I'm not saying it's a fully. So maximum thing that is repetitive, we can cover into the automation by using various tools. So guys, you're not getting any questions. So this is, yeah. Okay. Can you explain the Selenium grid works? Okay. So Selenium grid, it's we are using one jar there. I will just explain the high level because I am not having any different machines now. I have having only one laptop, so I cannot do the practical as well here. So in this case, we will create one server in my local, in my own laptop, and simply I will just configure different machines there and as a node, and on that particular node I can execute the one set of test cases, means one suit. So same I can copy to the different machine, so it will execute then the requirement that machine should be network, of course. So then only we can execute the same sort of test cases on different machines. So that is the work of the Selenium grid. Okay, Mayuri, thank you. And apart from this, if you want to execute our test cases, suppose we have done the automation testing for the web or the mobile, and but we think that we have to execute this on the different machine or a different cloud platform actually. So we have to do the some minor changes. Only 5-6 lines change will be there in the whole code, and same script can be executed on the cloud platform or a different machine. I will tell you few names there. Lambda test is there. Browser stack is there. Sauce Lab is there. These are providing the cloud platform. So nowadays Sauce Lab is trending, and we can execute our whole script, means any script written in the any it can be browser, it can be mobile, we can execute there in the cloud platform with minor changes in the existing code. But again, that is a paid one. If you want to try, we can get the license of the 15 or 30 days, and we can execute our script there for 30 days with limited functionality on the cloud platform. So I'm fine with any questions. So you can ask if you have any question, because this is just an overview of the automation, why we are doing the automation, what is the benefits of that. So from tomorrow onward, we can go with the some practical as well as theory, because today is only theory part. So it might be some boring, but you should get the question.
Yogesh,
Yeah. Yeah, Shri.
used on it. You can answer Keval's question first, and I'll tell.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Selenium grid used on the wide scale currently? Actually, only 10 to 20% companies are using Selenium grid nowadays. Yeah. Thank you, Keval. Yeah, Shri, you can go ahead.
Yes, as we still have time remaining, can you please walk people through the curriculum that you have shared with me? What all things you'll be covering?
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that's great. Actually, I'm thinking about that only, but yeah, great. Yes. Yes.
And I wanted you to add collections framework as well. I believe it was not mentioned in advanced Java section.
Yes, it's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I will just keep
Collection
a note of
framework,
that.
especially with respect to hash map and list.
Okay. Okay.
We
Fine.
don't need to work, because usually we don't work on queues, double linked list or linked
Yes.
list,
Right.
right? We just work on list and hash map most of the time,
Right. Right.
90% of the time. So we just, if we cover hash map and the list, that would suffice them.
Yeah, and set is also beneficial actually.
Yeah,
Set.
sure.
So to get the window handles as well in the WebDriver. Yeah,
Sure.
I will cover that part. No worries.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Shri. So apart from Java, Selenium, anything more needed to be installed on our system for now? Apart from Selenium, Java, I will give the list actually. I will just, it's in the next slide. Basically, we need JDK that you said, then Eclipse we need, and at least I'm saying that you should have two browsers, any two browsers. One is Chrome and other you can keep as Firefox or IE. That's fine, not an issue. Yeah, just this part is necessary to start with the Selenium. And then remaining thing I will just go in the next one, next session. Again, Ritesh is there. So which one is the best platform tool this day for automation? For web automation, Ritesh, for web automation, nowadays Selenium is trending. Thank you. And again, Govind asked one question. Why we use Selenium using different language like Java, Python, etc.? Why not single language? Actually, we are not using different language in a single set of suite actually, but we have support to use. If you know any language, suppose Java, Python, Ruby, we can use any language. Now currently we are using Java only. We are going for the Java, not other languages. So everyone don't know Java, right? Everyone cannot learn Java. So some companies might go for the Python, some may go for the C#. It's depend on their requirement. So any language is supported there. So we can use any. So we are going for the Java. Govind.
And to answer that question again, Govind, sometimes the requirement with Python has the largest base of jar files or inbuilt libraries, which will help you automate most of the applications. And it's completely based on the UI or the application that you're working on. Similarly with Ruby, C# and Java. If you're working on Angular applications, Angular JavaScript, which is currently trending in the market, if you tend to work on that, sometimes people do prefer Protractor. That's another tool. Protractor along with TypeScript or Protractor with JavaScript. JavaScripting is also there, which we will use when we use Protractor on Angular applications. So it's completely depend on company needs and how the UI is built up or the application is built up.
Yes.
And the other part was the UiPath, which Yogesh was saying. UiPath is actually an RPA tool wherein you can automate and you can set the process, everything will be there. UiPath, Blue Prism, these are all RPA tool, which is robotic process automation. And these are all, as he said, it's paid. Using that, you can automate either Windows or desktop applications as well. And you can do it seamlessly. Like integrating with means you don't need multiple blocks and we can make it as an assembled computer sort in Selenium. But in UiPath or Blue Prism, you can do all in an integrated manner. Even the continuous integration and testing also on the servers. That's why it's a paid one. Yes, Yogesh, please continue.
Yeah, thanks, Shri. Okay. So I'm going through the course that we are going to cover. Okay. So this is basically today's portion that we have covered, automation testing overview. Then we are going for the Eclipse actually. Eclipse needs to be understood fully to debug the code as well. Okay, so in this Eclipse, we are going to debug the code. So in case in future, if the test case getting failed at some point, we can just put the debug point and we can just see where the actual failure is. So this is also important skill. That's why I did this Eclipse setup and Eclipse ID content in the course. Okay. Okay, so then we are going to use the Java. So in Java, we are going to cover these data types, string class, conditional statements, arrays, classes and object, loops, constructor, lib functions, and what is the return type of that function, how we can use that we are going to cover in the Java, in the core Java actually. And apart from the Java, I'm going to this next Java tutorial actually. It's variables. What is a local variable, global variable, what is a static variable, functions, modifiers. Means but suppose if you want to execute, suppose if you want to limit the uses of particular class or a particular variables, so we can use the modifier there, kind of public, private, protected, and yeah, so that is the requirement of the modifier. So again, yeah, so what is method overloading, method overriding, what is inheritance? Inheritance means it's coming from the parent class. Then again, polymorphism. Then what is the exception we are getting? What is error? What is this throw and throws? Means simply we are learning how to handle the exceptions, because application is not perfect actually, and there might be some mistake or unexpected errors or exceptions that we have to handle in the script. Otherwise, our script will just fail abnormally and we are not getting the expected results. So we have to handle the exceptions in the Java. There are few exceptions in the Selenium as well, that also we are going to handle in the runtime. Okay, this is about the Java, what we are going to cover. Actually, the core Java is sufficient for the automation. So we are not going for the advanced Java at all. Okay. So as Shri said, we are going to cover the collections part like a hash map, list, and set. So it will help you to get few things. Actually, get to store data and use it somewhere else easily. So collection is the advanced part actually that I'm going to cover. Okay, that is about the Java. Then then WebDriver. And WebDriver, I will just tell you the architecture, internal in deep architecture. Then what is a WebDriver? What is a web element in that? Means suppose how we can launch the browsers in different set of browsers. What is a different code? Suppose if you want to execute if you want to open the Chrome driver, and if you want to open the Firefox, then what is the difference between these two? How we can open? What is the code difference? I will show that as well. Okay. And again, there is a different set of operations. Suppose how to hit the URL, how to verify the page title, how to close the browser, how to navigate forward, backward, how to refresh the page. That will be covered under the navigation commands. Okay. So again, suppose there is one form. There is a check boxes, text box, the radio button, drop down. There are multiple web elements on the page. So how to enter the data in the text box, how to click, how to select the radio button, how to click on the link. Every option, every element present in the UI, we can perform some action on that. So that I'm going to cover in the web element command. Okay. Suppose there are 10 links in the UI. So we can also get the 10 links at a time in a single line of code, and we can perform some action on that particular links. Or if you want to verify against expected data, we can verify that as well. Same for the list as well. Suppose there is drop down, there are 10 options. We have to verify that option is getting displayed properly as per expectation. So simply we can store that into the list, and we can compare that list with the expected list. That is about the web element commands. Yeah, so Ravi is asking, can we add few points on the collection framework like Java cursors, enumeration, iterator, list iterator? Yeah, so while covering this list, set and hash map, I'm going to cover iterator and list iterator as well there. And I will go for this enumeration. I will just keep a note of this, and I will see how useful is this enumeration, and then I can accordingly add that. Ravi. Okay, I'm just keeping note of this for the enumeration. Okay. Other part I'm going to cover. Okay. Then locators. Suppose there are, as I said, there is a multiple locators on the UI, means multiple web element. So we have to find the locators for that. Okay. So locator means what? Suppose there is checkbox. So the particular we have to write a XPath actually locator for that particular web element. Then only we can perform some action on that. So that is a locator actually. That just understand the high level only. I will show you that practical in the next session, upcoming sessions only. So basically there are multiple strategies: by name, by ID, by XPath, by CSS. For time being, I will just show some here in the Google. Suppose if you want to perform some action in this text box, we are just inspecting this element by using this arrow. We are clicking it here, and you can see it is highlighting this input box. So we are just creating particular locator based on this DOM structure. This is the DOM structure. You can see it here on the right side, and we can just perform some action, enter text in this text box. So this is actually the locator, we can say. Okay. So yeah, this is all I have already discussed. Checkboxes, radio button, tables, that I'm going to cover again. Then launching different type of browsers. Then yeah, this is the most important part: Selenium awaits, alerts, and switch windows. Suppose our application is slow when we are clicking on the particular link or particular button if you are navigating to the new window. So till next page opens, we have to wait for some time, right? But we cannot hardcode that wait. We have to write a proper wait. So suppose my application is opening in 5 seconds. So I should wait for only 5 seconds, not for 10 seconds actually. We cannot hardcode 10 seconds there. So this kind of wait we have to manage by using some explicit wait, implicit wait, and preempt wait. So it will simply wait for that particular time only, and our script will be optimized. We cannot hardcode the wait. So this is the most important part in the Selenium, to optimize the script, that we are going to cover in deep again. Then alerts and switch windows. Alert means, suppose we are getting some, now actually I don't have any screenshot to show the alert actually. I will show you this runtime actually alert. I will talk about the switch window. Suppose we are clicking on any link or any button, and if you are navigating to the new tab or new window, new browser, so that also we can handle in the automation by using the switch windows. Then action class is there. Action class, suppose if you are clicking by using Selenium and that things are not working properly, so this is alternate for that. Okay, this is a not mandatory, but in case some cases it will help. Action class. Yeah, that is all about the Java and Selenium. Okay, but if you know, Java class cannot be run without main method. Okay, every time you have to write a main method, then only we can execute our code in within that. So actually there is one TestNG framework developed to make our tests easy. So TestNG means test next generation. So previous version is JUnit. So that is being used mostly by the developers because there is less functionality, and there is some functionality related to the browser and OS. But we are not worrying about the OS right now while developing our script. So we are using the TestNG, and it is having more features as compared to the JUnit. Okay. So in TestNG, we are not going to use the main method. We are going to use some annotations, and on that, based on annotation, our script will execute. Okay. Suppose there is some prerequisite. Means suppose we have to do some preconditions, then only we have to execute the next set of code. So in that case, we can use some annotations there, depends on annotation. For example, if you put depend on annotation for the second case, and if you put that particular annotation on the first case, so unless the first test got executed, second test case will not get executed there. So dependency we can create there based on the requirement again. And TestNG also provides the reports to us. Suppose if you are verifying proper data from the UI, few fields on the UI, so we can just save that particular verification in the reporter, and we can just generate the report at the last when the test execution done. I think I got one question. Yes, someone Ravi is asking to add a core Java. You can add abstract class, also difference between interface and perfect. I can add this as well. Yeah, I will keep a note of this, and I will cover this in upcoming session again. I can cover as now as well. Just we have 6 minutes, but now, yeah, I will cover this in upcoming session. Okay, fine. Yeah, on the TestNG, and suppose if you want to execute the test case on multiple browsers, so we can use this TestNG. But only few minor configuration we have to do in the TestNG.xml file, and we can execute test case on the different browser in same machine. Okay, that is the use of the TestNG. This is again some add-on based on the top of this Selenium and Java. Actually, we can execute the script without TestNG, but it will make very complex structure of the automation framework. So TestNG also recommended in the automation framework to make the test easy. Okay. So again, there is a Maven. Okay. So in the automation, you need different jar. Okay. And of different version. So if you have to maintain at same place, so Maven is the best option. Maven is a build tool actually. Suppose if you want to keep the jar of Selenium Java of particular version, you can simply mention the particular dependency in the one of the XML file in the that pom.xml. Simply that jar will download automatically. And suppose one of your peer done the setup of the framework, you can simply copy that pom.xml and use there in their project. So same jar with same version will be automatically downloaded there. So this is also again the very important tool in the automation. Okay. And this is also used for the integration with the Jenkins. So if you want to execute the test case on the Jenkins, so this is also used there as a part of integration. So we have to do some configuration in the pom.xml and we can execute same in the Jenkins pipeline. Jenkins basically execute the script and give the result. It's a CI tool actually, continuous integration tool. And it's a freeware. And the paid version of the Jenkins is the CloudBees. Just keep the just remember this name, CloudBees. It's a paid one, and we can use the Jenkins as a freeware. Okay.
Just to add a little more point about the Maven, guys, as Yogesh was saying that we can do a cross-browser testing and everything. For an example, Rajesh is working on Windows 7 system on Chrome version 50, and I am using Windows 10 with Chrome version 70. Just giving a hypothetical example, okay? And Rajesh has executed scripts which I want to run it on my system with a different OS and with different Chrome version. And probably Rajesh is using Selenium 2.53 and I am using 3.5. How will I match that? Do I have to make any code changes? So that time, rather than doing that, what I'll do is I'll mention all of that in Maven, and there is an architecture which you will learn once Yogesh covers Maven.
Yes.
I'll just do an install on that so that all the latest one or the existing one will get downloaded and I can execute it. So that's the advantage, and we call it a dependency resolve. If there is any dependency in framework or script, that can be resolved using Maven.
Yes.
Rest of the part Yogesh will cover when he comes to that part. So it's just a high level explanation to you guys. Thank you.
For installing Maven, you no need to worry about that. It's inbuilt in the latest Eclipse, so don't worry about that as well. Okay, so you will get there. Okay, so this is all about the tools and technologies. For example, Java, Selenium, TestNG, Maven. If you know this tool, we can go ahead with the automation framework. Okay, so yeah, so framework means I just give the high level of the framework. Framework means we have to organize the thing in such a way that we can reuse that. Basically, we cannot do the redundant code. Suppose if you are login at we are return the code of the login at one place, and if you want to log in at a second test case, we cannot copy paste that code again and again. We have to place in such a way that it will work for every test case without writing every time. That is a basic fundamental of the framework. Okay, this is a framework actually. Okay, so there are different type of framework that I will going to explain in runtime in the upcoming sessions. Okay, and at the last, when I'm giving the session on this particular all the concept, Java, TestNG, Maven, I'm going to write a code and I will going to push that onto the Git. So at the last, you are going to get the latest code on the Git, and you can just check out that code and you can work on that. And if there is question, you can reach out to me anytime. Okay, this is a live project actually. Okay. So okay, so I'm done from my side for today, Shri and team. Any questions anyone having now?
Thank you, Yogesh.
Yeah, thank you, Shri. So can we, if there is no question, so we can close the call, Shri.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Do share that recording link with me so that I can share with the team. Okay.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah. One question I think I got. Wait, question or wait. Yeah. Not a question actually. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, team. Bye.
Thanks, Yogesh.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.